Welcome to another episode of Altitude and Attitude, the unfiltered podcast where stories collide with truth, humor, and a little chaos. Buckle up.
Pete, you know what, everybody, welcome back. But I've been aggravated this week. I've been aggravated for the past, but
Since January.
it's becoming more and more, probably before then, it's becoming more and more personal to me. And I think probably to you too, and Stanford, all three of us, is that I'm having to watch these men and women in uniform be deployed against against Americans. Like I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. Now I get it. There are going to be some of them out there that completely agree with everything that Dear Leader tells them to do. I understand it. I promise you that 90% of the people of color that you see out there, fighting crime by sweeping the streets in Washington, D.C. right now, or soon to be Chicago, whatever, they are not in agreement with it. But when you put that uniform on, you don't have a choice. If they tell you to go to Washington, D.C. and pick up trash, that's what you're going to do.
Right.
And so now you're all of a sudden, instead of volunteering to be a protector of your country and what people always viewed since, I think the last time I seen anything like where people are wanting to disrespect military, the last time was like Vietnam era shit. We are putting these people in a position to be hated, and it's not because they personally should be hated. It's that the leader and their leaders, and let's not take the military leaders out of it either, because nobody's bucking up and nobody's stopping anything. We got generals. We used to have generals that would buck up and get fired.
They've all been fired.
Yeah, get fired, because this is ridiculous. The fact that you are putting these people in a position, and when they go into Chicago, mark my words, and trust me when I say they are being sent there to incite a riot. This administration is trying to give themselves an excuse to militarize shit so that when you go to vote or whatever, they can have babysitters there.
They want to use these federal troops to somehow squash people's ability to go vote. And if you don't think that's true, just watch what's happening. He wants to send them now. Apparently, his idea is that he wants to send National Guard troops into cities where the governors are asking. But my question is, I thought that the governors were in charge of their troops. Can't they just send them in on their own? Why does Dear Leader have to be involved? If you think it's that bad, if you think crime, because he wants to do it in New Orleans. He wants to send it to New Orleans now. He says he'll have New Orleans straightened out in 2 weeks. Kind of like the way he ended the Russian war in 24 hours.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Everything with him is 2 weeks. Everything with him is 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. And then when 2 weeks comes up and then, we're going to have a meeting with Putin, and then it'll be in 2 weeks. And then that time passes and it's like,
right.
We'll see what happens in a couple weeks. Dude, how is everybody not like, okay, what the fuck, dude?
Right. And where are these Second Amendment people who are saying that I have to have a gun to keep the government out of my house? What the fuck do you think is happening?
Yeah.
What do you think is happening right now, you douchebags?
This is a definition.
Yeah. So where are you now?
What a tyrannical government looks like.
Where are you now? Oh, and let's talk about guns. He wants to fight crime. Fight crime. Go up against the NRA. Get rid of them. Dump the fucking NRA, and you will see a dramatic drop in violent crime.
If you want to get rid, thing he could do is resign. He is a criminal. He is a convicted felon.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, dude.
Go for it.
Did you ever play Ding Dong Ditch?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah? Did you see that? Did you fucking see that?
That's sad.
11-year-old boy playing Ding Dong Ditch. I want one person on this podcast who's watching, tell me you didn't play Ding Dong Ditch. An 11-year-old boy was shot and killed for playing Ding Dong Ditch as he ran away.
I don't remember doing it because I grew up a little bit different than most people do. But I know my kids have done it. I know that it's been that it has happened to me.
It's a rite of passage, dude.
Yeah, it's happened
something
to me.
that everybody does. You know,
it's kind of like it's kind of like around. I don't know if it's everywhere, but like here, like the seniors and juniors have a war every year.
Yep.
Well, guess what? If you've got a senior or a junior, your house is going to get toilet papered and ding dong
Egged,
dash
yep,
and all,
yeah.
all kinds of stuff. The only thing I ever say is like, just make sure I can make the kids clean up toilet paper. Don't do anything to damage my property, please. That's the only thing I can do.
But this goes to gun violence. This goes to gun violence, and the only thing that we say, what was it? The Catholic school was just attacked, right? Right? Yeah. And is this what we started on?
Pete, this is
It's a totally different topic, and I don't mean to go off on that.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It needs to be talked about. The fact that that they want to come out and say, well, it's not a gun problem, it is a mental health problem. Why can't it be both? It can be.
Well, then wait. Let me ask you this one. Hog, let's play this game. Okay, they say it's a mental health problem. Then why aren't these people who kill other people with guns being let off for mental health reasons?
It's going to get to my point is that, okay, yes, you're right. It is a mental problem. If I'm willing to go shoot a bunch of kids in an elementary school, then it's a I have mental issues. Problem. I understand that. But my ability to just go out and buy a gun within 10 minutes, that is also a problem. Both are problems.
Right.
It is okay for two things to be a problem.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying you can't, everybody doesn't need to be restricted, but if you ask 90%, probably 99% of responsible gun owners, I know gun collectors, dude, that they have grandkids, or children. So all their shit is locked up and inaccessible to anybody because they're responsible. Why in the world would we want to have no laws where if I want a gun, cool, fill out some paperwork, let's get you a background check, make sure that you're not like in the system for being mentally insane. Why is there nothing that we can do? Why is there, in your mind, nothing that we can do? Why is there nothing that we can do? I don't understand that.
But I want to go back originally to what you were talking about what it must feel like to be a U.S. troop on United States streets. Having to look at your neighbors, having to look at your friends, your own people, and have to enforce what? What am I enforcing? I mean, I can't imagine the stress that these men and women are going through right now.
It comes to mind, and I don't know if this came to your mind or not, but like when I'm just waiting for the moment. But you remember those troops that were brought out for having participated in Abu Ghraib.
Yep.
They like these young people were in pictures or whatever, and all these people end up going to jail. I think the leaders ended up like the general in charge and the commanding staff. They got the least amount of the punishment because they aren't in the pictures. But you allowed this to happen.
Right.
Anyways, the reason that this reminds me of that is because as well as I do, and I think that any sane American knows that we are setting these troops up for failure. So you're going to have some 19-year-old kid with the common sense of a dingbat. We both freaking we were that kid at the time, or we were in charge of those kids. We were herding cats at times. Right. Or we were one of the cats. But like when you have a general or a president or a secretary of defense, could you imagine if the secretary of defense tells me that I can do something because it is legal, and then it turns out that it's not legal?
It's illegal.
I'm, as a 19-year-old dum-dum, supposed to know to go look this up and then defy the orders because they're illegal orders? That's not going to be what happens. What's going to end up happening is that General so-and-so or Major so-and-so or Captain so-and-so or Sergeant so-and-so told me to do what I did, and I got caught on camera, and I broke the law.
Let's hope that they're sergeants.
And then as soon as another administration comes in, they will be charged and they will go to jail for it.
Right.
And then that's why because they're mostly older than 19. That is why ICE is wearing those goddamn masks. Because they know for a fact that what they are doing is illegal.
There's a record, but there's a record of who's out on these.
I understand that.
Who's out on there.
Harder, but you know what?
It's gonna, the reckoning will come. But like I said, let's just hope that these Sergeant so-and-so, right? Let's hope that they know when to say no to help protect these kids.
I'm sure that a lot of them do, and I think that I like to say that I would have the courage to be one of them. Yeah. I really do. But I was never faced with this insane decision to have to make.
Right.
I was never faced with this horrible, like, okay, I mean, I have a career. And so, like what am I going to do now? Am I going to defy orders, be court-martialed? Because that would be allowed right now. They could put me in jail for not following illegal orders, which is perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Because nobody is running a country of laws anymore.
Right.
So we have sycophants that are going to be our DOJ, and you know that as a troop they're going to be held underneath the UCMJ, which means that all the good, the decent generals and high ups have been they have been fired.
Right.
Like the people that would make justice come about or be telling their people like Mark Milley did when he was still in the administration of this man, said like, we swore an oath to the Constitution, not
you,
being,
not you,
not any one person.
Right.
That's not what we did. We swore an oath to these democratic values. And just because we have one person in office right now that doesn't like those values, or if they rub him the wrong way, or if they are inconvenience what he wants to do, then all of a sudden he doesn't care about it.
Right.
Well, that does not, what I'm saying is it does not make you not liable if you break the law. Unfortunately, I'm going to hate to see some of these 18, 19-year-old kids be prosecuted in the future, because if something bad happens from this, like say in Chicago, or
I can imagine
because these kids are not trained to be law enforcement, they're not. They are not cops. Okay, so get that out of your head. The military is not cops. They are a brute force that is sent to war.
Right.
Not our own people to enforce traffic or
we don't
immigration.
We're not there.
Specialties.
We're not there to serve and protect. That's not what the military does. No.
At all.
We go fight wars, to push political ideas into other countries. And we're not here to arrest our own men and women.
And I don't even want to hear the argument of, well, security forces or MPs or whatever, they are trained law enforcement. No, not for civilians. They are law enforcement under the UCMJ. And I got news for you. This may come as a shock, but the Uniform Code of Military Justice, for those of you who don't know what UCMJ means, is our own set of laws. It's actually, a lot of it is higher standard than normal law.
Right.
So they learn a completely different set of rules that are enforceable. So what happens when you have a, say, civilian disrespect an officer? And you got a young
kid who's like, I was told that's against the
no shit, but you're not a part of that. I know that was a ridiculous example, but
I mean, it's true. It's shit that could happen. It's things that could happen
because these kids are still learning.
Yeah.
That's why they are low end of the totem pole. And you know how you get the top of the totem pole eye to eye with the bottom of the totem pole? You hire a freaking newscaster who was a half-rate fucking troop to begin with to be the Secretary of fucking Defense.
He's just a
That is
worthless. He's just a
insane.
worthless turd, plain and simple.
That is you trying to dismantle leadership within the ranks of the U.S. military. Why would you do that, you ask? So that you can command them to go to Chicago.
He's the reason why he's doing this.
Or
It is
DC.
has nothing to do with crime, plain
No.
and simple. Because if it had anything to do with crime, he would have gone into an actual crime riddled area. This
Correct.
is all about him testing the waters so that he can impose. What am I thinking of? Hog.
Martial law.
Martial law. Thank you. And he will impose martial law
Right around election time.
right around election time to hold back people from getting out and voting. It's exactly what's happening.
And you know it's a two-pronged thing that he's doing. Number one is he's going to get away with anything that the courts can't. First of all, we have a president who's just willing to just break the law in our face and does not care. I understand. What do you do with that? I understand that's a hard one. That's a hard one because I don't know what you do with that. I don't know what you do with a commander-in-chief that is just willing to blatantly break the law in front of everybody and doesn't give a fuck.
And he's got Pam Bondi right there under his desk, who is not going to do anything to stop him.
She is the top law enforcement in the nation. There's nobody. So when he said, I'm the top law officer in the country, remember when he said that on national TV, he wasn't wrong because his puppet is the top law officer in the country. So like if you think for 1 minute that he calls her and says, don't release these files or arrest this person, or do you know how much illegal shit she's doing right now? The fact that you are talking about, they have a gag order filed right now. I don't know if it passed yet or not, but to get the administration, she's the AG, yo.
Right.
The president of the United States, vice president, the immigration head, what's the dog killer, all of them. They are trying to gag them through legal means so that they cannot talk about Garcia, the one that was wrongfully, by their own admission, mistakenly sent to El Salvador to be tortured. Well, guess what, folks? Whether you like it or not, because that happened, the U.S. of the United States of America sanctioned torture of a human being.
Right.
Okay. So that just what happened. It doesn't matter that we sent him to out. We illegally sent him
to
while
El
there was no removal order for him to the country he was supposed to never go back to. And mind you, he's been convicted or charged of nothing. All this shit is made up. So if he did all that shit, I hope he goes to jail. I really do.
Right.
If he is a wife beater, if he is a human trafficker, I really hope he goes to jail. But can I trust the administration to be right about it? Fuck no.
No, you can't trust anything because they lie about everything.
Yep.
Absolutely everything.
And it's just like this this boat that they were out bragging about killing the other day.
The drug boat. Yeah. Because
they were gangsters they were accused accused them of being gangsters and drug smugglers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, drug smuggling, number one, is not a capital offense, but number two, we're supposed to take your word. So you're like judge, jury, and executioner. Yeah. because you, the guy that lies all the time, decided that this boat was full of whatevers. No, what they were.
Yeah, I'd like to know who specifically made the call. Was it that
not only
Fox piece of shit?
No, he bragged about it. So I mean, he was saying it was him. Now I don't know if it was him or not because you can't believe anything he fucking says. But he is owning it. Right. And I mean, like, at what point, like, do we say, okay, this isn't right? Because, okay, even if they were smuggling drugs, number one, they're in Venezuela. Who fucking cares? That's not our problem.
Right.
Why is the military killing 11 possible innocent people? Probably not, but possible.
It's
The
possible.
possibility exists that there was an innocent person on that boat.
Right.
Because we didn't give them any trials. They were convicted of nothing.
Yeah.
Except for
Being in a boat. Being in a boat.
Being in a boat, and our president decided, I need some brown people that are disposable to get rid of. Maybe they won't watch the news conference with the Epstein people tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Or victims, I should say, not people, victims.
I don't know why we don't see more people out. I mean, they are literally out executing brown people. That's exactly what is happening right now. And if this was happening to white people, you bet your sweet ass.
Our fucking minds.
You goddamn right we would. Absolutely. And we had we have a mutual friend who one time told me that the shit we're seeing now couldn't happen in our country.
I mean,
that there's no way it could happen.
I'm a mutual friend that said that. I mean, I did not believe that we could ever. I knew that we were probably going to deal with racism, and we have a history, and we've always had this little bit of undertone of things. I did not realize that we as a country, whether we want to admit it or not, like you said, we as a country would elect such a person that would do these kinds of atrocities, and that like we'd have politicians and just like,
right.
Oh, what? I didn't see that.
Right. But see, that goes back again to the complacency that we have as U.S. citizens. A lot of us think this can't happen here. This can't happen to us. And so we let our guard down. We don't go vote because we say, well, that person might get elected and I don't like them, but it's not going to be bad. It's not going to be as bad as it is in other countries. This is how it happened.
But like I was saying earlier, Pete, you need to be as excited. Okay, we see people either get excited about, say, when Obama ran. It was really exciting that he was going to be the first black president or whatever. Right. So people got excited to vote. Then Trump, the last time, the first time he ran, I'm sorry, when Joe Biden won, it was because they hated him. So they got excited about hating him. Well, you guys need to get excited about voting every time. If you did, this shit would not happen.
Right.
Because the majority of Americans do not agree with anything that's going on right now. But because they know how to get you either unexcited or who cares what they gerrymander? Get out and vote.
Yeah.
Because in Texas, especially, in a lot of these red states, you are either equal or the majority of that state. And so if everybody goes out and votes, it's going to be a completely different result. Because even if every person of color or, other kind of identity or whatnot went out and vote in Texas, I guarantee you that there's probably 20 to 30, 40% of the white population that does not like seeing what is going on either.
Right.
But when you've got, one group of people, and I'm not saying only one group of people, but, one group of people being the people that decide whether somebody wins or doesn't win, then you've lost your power as a person of a minority.
Right, right. Don't let the gerrymandering stop you from voting. Get out and cast your vote. Don't sit back and say, oh, my vote doesn't matter. That's how we ended up where we are today, man. This is why so many brown people are being shit upon in this country, because people said, oh, my vote doesn't matter. And how many times have we heard that in our lives? Your vote doesn't really matter.
I hear it all the time.
It's such a fucking lie. It's a lie. Everybody's vote matters. Period.
And not only that, but I need to say this, and I hope it eventually somebody hears this, is that and even if something crazy happens, these tactics that they're using, they are tactics. Trust me. The people, if you end up seeing people with guarding your polling station, it is
Right.
a tactic. Don't be, I know the reason that they're there is to scare you from going in because you're brown or whatever. Don't be scared. Go.
Go.
Because if, I know it sucks, it sucks horribly, but hell, I might be scared by the time we are allowed to vote again.
Yeah.
But I'm going to still do it because number one, it's my duty. Number two, if they arrested me or even you, this isn't gonna be forever.
Right.
So eventually, these people will be charged with a crime.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and guess what? You can call yourself a millionaire because as soon as you're done suing for wrongful detainment
Imprisonment.
or wrongful arrest, when a normal DOJ is in office, then you will be a rich person. So
Yep.
go ahead and just deal with it. I hope that you just deal with it because they can't stop the vote. If they say you can't mail in vote, then get in your car. If you can't get in your car, like we were saying earlier,
Call
your
somebody.
campaign office.
Call somebody.
Grandma,
Yeah.
Call somebody.
Get an Uber. Get a Lyft.
If you're
Go.
broke and poor, somebody will take you. They will call a church.
Reach out.
I know
Call
a lot of
yeah.
churches take people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different entities, and like I said, you don't have to tell them the way you're going to vote or your
doesn't matter.
Your political leanings. If you're offering rides to the polling station, that's what you're offering. It doesn't matter
Right.
who you're voting for. You don't have to tell anybody.
Right. No one cares what you drank when.
In fact, don't wear it on your
need a
sleeve.
DD.
You want to know why? Because they will legally be able to kick you out. Don't
Right.
wear a "fuck Trump" shirt, or don't wear
Yeah.
a shirt that is
Or a
blatantly political.
Yeah.
Just don't, because they will have a legal right to kick you out.
Absolutely.
So
Plenty of ways to get out and vote. Make sure you do, because as we have to stand up for our countrymen and women. We have to. And the best way to do that is to vote. Well, Hog, that was pretty good, man. I think we should call this episode Hog's Rant.
it is, well, obviously it's near to both of our hearts. So
Yeah.
it should be everybody that wore the uniforms.
Right. I agree.
I just know, I just can see the writing on the wall. Something bad's going to happen, and some 18-year-old's going to end up in jail because a powerful general or whoever,
or heaven forbid,
this problem to happen because they didn't have the balls to tell their boss no.
Or heaven forbid, we actually do get some Second Amendment people out in the streets.
And you know what? Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
It brings to mind like the people of integrity, which used to be like a core value. People like the Intel Colonel Vindman, like these people paid a price for what they did.
Right.
Because they realized that what was happening was wrong, and they did the right thing. General Milley. I can keep on going. There's that commander, that Coast Guard commander. Like all these people, there were leaders that would have stopped this.
I think there are still the leaders are still out there. They are just like my wife and her family and all of her friends and any other person that immigrated over into this country. They're scared. They don't know what's going to happen if they speak out and speak up. So they're hiding. I think
that they do know what's going to happen. I think that they do know what's going to happen, and they're scared of what will happen. So if you're a general or if you're a colonel with some integrity, obviously you don't have much if you just decide to not stand by your convictions and the Constitution and the what the law is. Mm-hmm. But they know that if they speak out, like Colonel Vindman, like Mark Milley, like all these other people, that you've sealed your fate. Your career's over.
Go vote. Get out, vote. Call your family members. Call your friends. Call your neighbors, talk to the person, in the grocery store. Make sure everybody can get where they need to go. Good to see you, brother.
All right, brother.
See you soon.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Altitude and Attitude. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another episode. Remember, if you're not pissed off, you're not listening.